Imagine yourself arriving at a peaceful place, a space where the rhythm of the world slows down, where you can breathe deeper, think more clearly, and open your soul to the voice of God. Breathe deeply now. Let the air enter slowly. And as you exhale, allow all tension, all weight, all anxiety to leave you. Inhale once more and feel how God is present in this moment. Nothing needs to be rushed. Nothing needs to be resolved now. Just be here. While we find this peace, I want to invite you to walk with me through an ancient story, a story that has spanned centuries, a story that speaks directly to the soul of all who have ever tried to run from God, all who have ever been confused, all who have ever been afraid to obey, all who have ever felt lost. This is the story of Jonah, and today we will walk with him through the 3 days he spent in the belly of the great fish. 3 days of silence, 3 days of reflection, 3 days to hear the voice of God. Imagine for a moment Jonah living his life, following his routine, until one day God calls him. God says, "Arise, go to the great city of Nineveh." And Jonah feels the weight of that calling. He realizes that obedience will be difficult, that the mission is heavy, that the challenge is great. Perhaps this sounds familiar to you. Perhaps there is something God has placed in your heart, some place to go, some forgiveness to release, some step of faith to take. Perhaps, like Jonah, you too have tried to go in the opposite direction. Jonah boards a ship, trying to escape God, as if that were possible. And the wind begins to blow stronger. The waves rise, the boat creaks, the storm intensifies. And within that storm, a silent truth is revealed. Running away never brings peace. We breathe again and think about it. Is there some area of our lives where we are also running away? Running away from a conversation we need to have, from a decision, from a calling, from a change? Perhaps God is allowing some waves to rise not to punish us, but to call us back. Realizing the storm wouldn't end, Jonah understands, I know it's because of me. And he surrenders himself to the sailors. They throw him into the sea. But instead of finding death, Jonah finds mercy. God sends a great fish to save him. Now, I want you to imagine that moment, the sudden silence after the chaos of the waves. Jonah's body sinking, and then total darkness. The belly of a fish, a place where there is no light, where there is no movement, where there are no distractions. Only silence. Only God. Take a deep breath and imagine yourself there, not as punishment, but as a prayer room. A room where everything that distracted you has been removed, where all noise has been silenced, where the only sound is the sound of your own heart beating and the whisper of God's presence around you. Jonah spends 3 days there, 3 days that seem endless, 3 days in which he confronts his soul, 3 days in which he realizes that running away didn't work, 3 days in which he finally does what he should have done from the beginning, pray. Perhaps you too are experiencing your own 3 days. It may be a time of waiting or uncertainty or transition. It may be a time when you don't clearly see the path, but you know that God has not abandoned you. Sometimes God places us in environments that seem dark, but which are actually spiritual wombs, places where he molds us anew. Take another deep breath and allow this truth to touch your heart. The belly of the fish was not the end for Jonah. It was the beginning of something new. Jonah then prayed, and his prayer echoes to this day. In my distress I called to the Lord, and he answered me. Repeat this calmly within yourself. He answered me. Perhaps you believe that your prayer wasn't reaching anyone. But God hears even the prayer we make in a dark place, in a weak moment, in a sigh, in a tear. Jonah continues. The waters surrounded me, even to my soul. I went down to the foundations of the mountains. Perhaps you also feel this way, surrounded, pressured, suffocated. But Jonah ends his prayer affirming, salvation comes from the Lord, not from our strength, not from our attempts, not from our plans. Salvation, direction, clarity, healing, restoration comes from the Lord. Now, close your eyes for a few moments or simply soften your gaze. Imagine God's presence enveloping you like the ocean envelopes a sea sponge. Imagine that wherever you look, He is. Outside, inside, all around, in everything. Imagine God's light entering your being like water entering an empty vessel. Allow yourself to be filled. As you breathe, mentally repeat, "Speak, Lord, your servant is listening." Inhale. "Speak, Lord." Exhale. "Your servant is listening." Do this for a few moments in rhythm with your breathing, slowly, effortlessly, simply receiving. Now, imagine that those 3 days of Jonah represent 3 areas of your life. Perhaps God is inviting you to surrender one of them. Perhaps God is calling you to trust in another. Perhaps God is asking you to renounce something in the third. Allow the Holy Spirit to gently reveal this to your heart. Don't force it, just perceive it. As the silence deepens, imagine the fish rising to the surface. Imagine Jonah being drawn closer to the light again. After 3 days, the fish vomits him onto the beach. Jonah falls onto the sand, breathes the fresh air, feels the warmth of the sun, and realizes he has a second chance. He is no longer the same. He emerges with a new focus, a new heart, and new obedience. The belly of the fish was the place where he stopped running and began to follow. Take a deep breath and imagine yourself emerging as well. God is leading you out of some dark place. He is moving you into a new phase. He is calling you. He wants to give you new vision. He wants to give you new energy. He wants to break all fear, all escape, all hesitation. He wants to restore you. Now, wherever you are, allow yourself to speak to God in silence. Talk to Him about what you've been running from, about what you fear, about what you desire, about what you need to surrender. Speak honestly. God is listening. Then just listen. Listen not with your ears, but with your soul. Perhaps He will tell you, "I am here." Perhaps He will tell you, "Trust." Perhaps He will tell you, "I will take care of you." Or perhaps He will simply envelop you with peace, and that peace is already the answer. If you feel God touching you, embracing you, guiding you, thank Him. Say, "Lord, thank you for my time in the belly of the fish. Thank you because even in the darkness you are God. Thank you because you free me, guide me, and remake me." And continue breathing gently while this gratitude grows within you. The story of Jonah reminds us that God doesn't give up on us. He gives us new opportunities, new beginnings, new paths. He transforms our flight into a calling, our fear into courage, our confusion into purpose. And He does this with grace, with patience, with love. As we move towards the end of this meditation, allow peace to settle within you like a tranquil river. Imagine Jonah walking along the beach, still smelling the ocean, still with sand clinging to his face, still trying to understand what happened. He looks at the vastness of the sea and realizes that God was not just the God of the wind and the waves. God was the God of the womb, the God of darkness, the God of silence, the God who dwells even in places that seem to have no way out. Perhaps you too are realizing that God is where you thought He wasn't. Perhaps He is acting precisely in the area of your life that you considered lost, impossible, broken. As Jonah continues walking, his legs still tremble. He doesn't know the path ahead. He doesn't know how he will be received in Nineveh. He doesn't know if he will be able to obey. He simply keeps going, and that is faith. Faith isn't about having everything clear. Faith is taking a step even when nothing seems to make sense. Faith is walking with God, even when your heart is still recovering. Now, think about your life. Is there somewhere God has called you to go? Any conversation you've been putting off? Any change God has awakened in you? Any forgiveness that needs to be offered? Any door waiting for your courage to open? Be silent for a few moments. Let the Spirit show you this. Jonah continues walking on the wet sand. Each step is a reminder. I should have come from the beginning. But God doesn't waste our crooked paths. He transforms detours into testimonies. He transforms escapes into teachings. He transforms falls into resurrection. And perhaps, right now, God is transforming something within you as well. Breathe gently. Let the air flow in and out easily. Feel how God surrounds you. Feel how He calms your heart. Feel how he strengthens you to continue. The voice of God resounds again, not like thunder, but like a whisper within the soul. Go. And Jonah goes. And as he walks, he realizes something that perhaps you also need to realize. When God calls us, he doesn't send us alone. He goes with us. He walks beside us. He carries what you cannot carry. He gives you words when your mouth cannot speak. He gives you strength when your body is weary. He gives you courage when your soul fears. Now, imagine Jonah entering the city. Each step echoes his obedience. Perhaps the city represents for you a new beginning, a request for forgiveness, a decision, a dream, a change. See yourself entering as well. Walk imaginatively toward what God has for you. Feel your soul moving forward. Feel your faith stirring. Feel your spirit responding. Here I am, Lord. While Jonah was proclaiming God's message, something unexpected happened. The people listened. The people responded. The people repented. The heart that Jonah thought was hard was, in fact, soil ready to flourish. This shows us that we often fear negative outcomes that only exist in our imagination. God was already working in Nineveh before Jonah arrived there. And in the same way, he is already working on the future that awaits you. Take a deep breath and let this truth settle within you. Let it ease your heart. You're not going alone. You're not walking into the unknown. God is already there. He has already prepared the way. He has already opened doors you didn't even see. He has already softened hearts you thought impossible. He has already aligned circumstances that seemed confusing. Jonah emerged transformed from the belly of the fish, and perhaps you too are emerging from a difficult time with a new perspective. Perhaps God is restoring your faith. Perhaps he is giving you new spiritual sensitivity. Perhaps he is strengthening areas that were once weak. Perhaps he is renewing your hope. And while you receive this, I want to invite you again, with all my affection and peace of mind, to subscribe to this channel. This way you can continue walking with me through more meditations, more stories, more moments of reflection and God's presence. This allows us to grow together in faith and helps you not to miss content that can strengthen your daily walk. It will be a joy to have you around. May you continue in God. Amen.